We are excited about the elaboration room.
I am excited about this.
Welcome to the Elaboration Room with Reverend Yo and Reverend Harris.
A big transition with August, and that's Ian's son. Um, and I didn't realize the big transition that I was going through until Reverend Yo was talking. And it's just, I'm telling you, y'all, God is so real. The role of grandmother here did not align itself in my mind with what I expected it to look like. And so you have to, hopefully, you'll see this will give you something else to consider if you are going through. I feel like somebody needs to hear this. It did not align. You see, God prepares a path for us. And as I stated, Deuteronomy 31:8, that the Lord goes before you and will be with you, and he'll never leave you or forsake you. You're not on this path by yourself. God has already prepared the path. And so this transition is not about God placing you on a path and then just leaving you there, but walking with you. And we have to realize that because, we have to understand that these new families right now, these, I want to say children, but they're not children, but these young parents, they want to find their way. They want to bond amongst themselves. It's not like back in the day when everybody lived close and grandmother was right there, the whole time, or stayed in the same house with each one, with the new baby and the new parents and all of that. They want their space. And I had to realize that. And that was the transition that I was on, that I wasn't going to be seeing August every day. And I had to be respectful of their space. But I got in my feelings because this transition path is not how I pictured it. I pictured the latter, that I would be there and be seeing him all the time. But all of a sudden I felt abandoned. And I let my feelings be known. Now, transition is about growth. That space is about growth. And sometimes to get that growth, God's going to shake you up. And that's what ended up happening. But what ended up also happening was I have always been a people pleaser. And in order to please most people, you don't tell them your true feelings. You say what will please them. How are you? I'm okay. How are you? Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing fine. But I was not. So for both sons, my biological sons, both of them, on this path, I started realizing that texting was the only way they were pretty much communicating. And if I called them, they would answer the phone. But sometimes, or they would answer with a text. So my first shakeup that God gave me was stop answering texts. You want them to call you, stop answering texts. So that was the first thing I did. And then when I didn't answer their text, they called me. And so each one asked me separately, how are you? How are you, Mom? And I says, well, it depends on who you're talking to. If you're talking about how am I the wife, I'm doing great. I'm doing marvelous. If you talk about how am I the mom, I'm hurt. If you talk about me, how am I the grandmother? I'm devastated. And they were like, what? Why? And I said, because this is not how I expected you guys to be. As me being your mom, I said, did I do something to upset you that you guys don't even call? And so then I said, and me being a grandmother, I said, I'd like to see him see the baby more, you know. I started speaking my truth. And I think for a lot of us in these transition parts, we have to examine where God has us on the path and how God is shaking us up and live whatever the truth is that is being given us. Because what God is doing is shaking off the fluff so that what remains is the truth, pruning us so that the positions we are put into, we have a deeper, deeper alignment and a deeper sense of our purpose there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we don't speak our truth to people, how will they know? How will they know what our true feelings are? How will they know our capabilities if we're trying to be appeasing to them and say, in other words, if we're trying to dim our lights so that others are comfortable. So that was my transition piece. I know that was long, you guys, but I was listening to what you were saying, yo, and I said, oh my goodness. Yes, yes. Wisdom guides us into the shift.
Every time. Every time. But we have to sit there and remember what I said in the beginning, that your transition is not punishment, it's
No,
preparation.
but
Because
it feels like punishment sometimes.
yes, it does. Because, okay, so years ago, I had to leave a church that I had been in for over 20 years. I was in that church. I was comfortable in that church. I served that church from the pew, from to the pulpit. I served as a missionary. I think I did just about everything in that church. And when God has shifted me out of that church, I didn't understand my transition. I was hurt. I was really hurt. And I didn't understand the transition for two reasons. One, he was moving me from somewhere where I was very active, doing the things I wanted to do. I was comfortable. That's what I'm talking about, that again, come from that complacency. And I was good there. And then two, when he transitioned me out, he didn't transition me right away to somewhere else. So I was at home visiting different churches, doing different things, tried to go to another still denominational church here where I'm at now. That's not where he wanted to be. He really took me in this place where I learned later that it was a separation period. I had to be separated and had to get rid of a lot of things that he didn't no longer want me in or to hold on to because of where he was taking me.
And that
So
was the shaking.
yeah, and I that really it really rattled me for a while. So then I went then to all these different churches. I'm like, nope, no, that's not for me. That's not for me. So I ended up at the current church that I just left again. So I ended up at that church, and then I got there, and in the beginning, I was like, okay, this is where he want me to be. This is what he want me to do, and I believe God allowed me to stay there. But that once again was not where He wanted me planted. So then I'm in another transition zone, and I've been in this transition zone for almost this basically this entire year. I've been in this place and I couldn't understand it, just like I couldn't understand when I had to leave my job in 2020. I could not. Lord, I am too young. But nope, it's this separation part that I believe that he took me through, because this transition would not have happened if I would have stayed. This growth, I can say, would not have happened if I was in the same place. So from job to that church, and now I'm out of all of them again because he is preparing me for where he wants me to be. He is preparing me for the things that he wants me to do. And if I'm constantly getting somewhere, sitting there and getting comfortable, I'm not doing what he's calling me to do. So for this year, and we're what, in the 10th month of this year? This year alone, I've traveled to almost 10 states and 6 or 7 countries in just this 10-month time frame of things that God has opened my eyes to see. You know, you read about things in the Bible. When I had the opportunity to go to Greece, to actually be in the place that Paul was in and
Yes.
able to walk that path, it opened up something
Oh,
totally
yes.
different from me. To put my foot in the
That's
A to
right. I
C,
did it.
I'm just
Yes.
like, oh my God. It's like God just took me through this transition period, letting me know and understand what I have for you. You may feel like it's punishment. You may feel like it's a delay. You may feel like it's a setback, but it's not a setback for you. I'm transitioning you for what I want you to do, and I need you to do it now. And that's that part of the transition zone that puts you in that faith part. Because even Abram, when he had to go, he didn't know where he was going, but he had to go. I don't know where I'm going. Well, I take that back. He's shown me some things and I'm doing some things now. But you never know and understand unless you allow God to transition you. And a
Yeah,
lot of people get so comfortable
that's
in
right.
where they are in life, what they're doing in life. Then when God want to shake them up, all of a sudden their faith is shaking like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Now I'm gonna say something, and I probably get booted for it, but it is what it is. Every year when we would go to conference, we was at annual conference, it used to amaze me how we say we walk by faith, we do the things God wants us to do, we'll move according with, that we go wherever we're sent A, B, C, and D. But when God wants to move people out of one church and put them in other churches, people don't like it. They pretend they do, but just be honest, everybody doesn't like it. But that transition many times is for other people's growth. Transition is something where when you're moving, God is not giving you the instructions. God may give you the instructions, but he won't give you the explanation.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
going
The Elaboration Room with two sisters of one. Make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode every Monday at 6 p.m.